Jan Riches is the guest for this Compri podcast. She is the founder of Nat Psychology, a clinic that's been helping people with complex mental illness for numerous years in Adelaide. Her business has relocated to Darwin recently. We took this opportunity with her in the beginning of the year when she returned to Adelaide briefly. Topics surrounding dialectical behaviour therapy, borderline personality disorder, bipolar disorder, in addition to her own personal experience with overcoming mental illness, are all included in this conversation. Darwin now, they search you.
Yeah.
They search like psychology, you would pop up and things like that.
Hope so.
How many people do you see now on a weekly basis, or do you see them on a weekly basis?
Yeah. Oh, okay. So everyone's different with what they need. So some people, if they've got a really acute issue, they might need weekly therapy. But majority of the clients I see will be fortnightly.
Fortnightly,
yeah, that works pretty well. But yeah, I don't know. I see around 20, 25 clients a week individually. Used to be a lot higher, but I'm wanting to cut down a bit and do a bit more creative stuff, and like this today, and I'm going to start some study soon as well.
Research.
So building up my team as well.
Congratulations. Recently you've added a new member to the team.
Yeah, so I've got Brooklyn who's doing all the social media stuff. She's my executive assistant and she's amazing.
Yeah.
But she'll be helping out with some DBT groups. So DBT means dialectical behaviour therapy.
Yeah.
So some group therapy stuff too in the future, with helping me with the admin and organising that stuff. And you've got Cara starting as well end of next month. She's a mental health counsellor, which is really cool, and still hoping to grow the team as well, because it'd be great to have more people on board in Darwin, but Darwin is it's almost like a country town, isn't it? So I have to be creative in how we think about recruitment and stuff. So
That's awesome.
Yeah.
When you mentioned dialectic behaviour.
Dialectical.
Dialectical.
Yeah. So dialectical means like two things can be true at the same time. So,
okay.
Yeah, so it kind of means, so say if I'm angry, so I can still be angry and still go to work, okay? So two things can be true at the same time. So just because you have one emotion doesn't mean that you can't do anything, or you can't, move forward with a particular behaviour. So you can still be excited about something and also perform really well at it. Or you can be really nervous about something, but you can still go ahead and do that, say piano recital or whatever.
Oh, that's very interesting.
So, a lot of people that might think, I'm feeling worried, so therefore I can't go to school. Or therefore I can't do the solo because I'm too worried. But you can actually do two things at the same time.
Yeah, that's what musicians deal with all the time. We're professionals are dialectical specialists, I suppose.
Yeah, two things at the same time.
Before going on stage, we're freaking out, thinking about running away, but we still just, persist through.
That's right.
Yeah. But what do people, is that a form of, in that context, is that a form of disorder? Or
no. So dialectical behaviour therapy is a particular therapy for borderline personality disorder and also more complex mental health issues, like bipolar disorder, even like PTSD. It's a behavioural therapy. It's it's drawn from CBT, which is cognitive behavioural therapy, and it's very much a moving ahead through problems still, and having different outcomes. So a lot of people who might use this therapy might have really strong emotions. They might have a lot of meltdowns. They might self-harm. They might have suicide attempts. They might use drugs or alcohol. So they've got a lot of issues because they're not able to regulate their emotions themselves. So if you've been brought up in a household where you were soothed by your parents and they helped you to understand your emotions and they helped you to work through them, you kind of grow up learning that you can regulate your own emotions yourself. And it's not a complete disaster if, say, you feel scared or worried or something like that. Whereas some people who haven't had that, they haven't had that nurturing and that secure attachment, then they have really extreme emotions and they freak out. They're really, really scared. They're like, "What? I don't know how to get rid of this feeling. I'm going to, drink a bottle of vodka, or I'm going to hurt myself."
Yeah, just distract themselves.
Yeah. So they deal with it in really maladaptive ways. And so no one's really, taught them how to regulate their emotions appropriately. And that's what DBT does, is you know, it helps with emotion regulation. It helps with interpersonal effectiveness. So having good relationships that are healthy, teaching skills in that, and also distress tolerance as well. So learning how to manage really distressing feelings in an appropriate way.
I suppose help them, you know, still function,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
in
and
their
get on with life,
professional
yeah.
fields,
Oh,
even though they have
definitely.
something.
Yeah, of course.
Right.
And it's not, you know, it's not their fault
No.
that they, you know, have these really extreme emotions, but they can change their behavior and how they deal with that.
Yeah.
So it's just, you know, it's no one kind of gives you a book on how to regulate your emotions when you're growing up or when you're an adult. You know, your parents are, or your primary caregivers have a role to teach you in that stuff.
Yeah.
But if you didn't get that, then you don't really know how to do it properly, and you might have really kind of erratic relationships, and you might, you know, have lots of fights with people, and you know, you don't go to work one day because you feel really bad and stuff, and so then you lose your job. So DBT just goes back and teaches those skills so that you can have a better life, basically. Like Marsha Linehan, who's the creator of DBT.
Marsha
Linehan.
Linehan.
Yeah, she's a psychologist. And she went through her own hell in, you know, she had suicide attempts, and she found it really, really difficult, and she couldn't find like a therapy that was suitable for that stuff. So she's created DBT, which is now today really well known and really effective for people with more complex mental health issues.
How interesting.
Yeah.
When you know, I mean, in her case, she suffered from, you know, a series of things from her experience, and then now she's funded a new discipline to, you know, to treat or to manage that, you know, with specific methods. I mean, she's really...
Oh, she's very highly regarded in her area, and you know, this is like a group of people who were commonly, you know, shunned, you know, amongst health professionals because they had BPD or borderline personality disorder. No one really wanted to treat them because they were presenting at hospital all the time with, you know, kind of crisis behavior or self-harming behaviors, and you know, they were kind of like really in distress, and they would be treated, and then sometimes they would come back because they're in distress again. And so, yeah, there is a big stigma around BPD, but Marsha has done a really fantastic job in, I think, reducing that stigma and providing a treatment that is very effective. And a lot of studies, heaps of studies say it's very effective.
Yeah.